He's been on The Circle, Perfect Match, Battle Camp. I would put money, guys, I would put money down that he has applied to Love Island at some point in his life. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things movies, TV shows, and Hollywood. So today we're gonna be talking about the first episode of Married at First Sight season 20 because it just dropped on Peacock. And I've literally been waiting for this show because this is my first season watching it. And I've been wanting to see the chaos because I've only heard about it in passing and in reviews. But I wanted to see the madness for myself because the concept is quite interesting. I don't know why I've never seen this one before because I've seen all like the dating shows. That's what I'd be doing. So this is the episode. Episode one is where we're meeting all these people, most of them for the first time, some of them for the 11 millionth time, but we'll get to that. Now, Felipe. Felipe is the first guy we are introduced to. Felipe is Italian. He owns an Italian restaurant as well, and he says he hasn't always been this attractive. Okay. Yeah, but now he's very attractive. Okay. I think for me, it's just the mustache. Anytime I see a man with this type of mustache, I have to be suspicious. I don't know what it is. And I have yet to be wrong about that. Every time I see a man with that mustache, they're up to something sketch. It's really like you can't trust them. It gives off just a little bit of sketchy. And I have yet to be proven wrong. And I think this show is going to still prove me right. But we shall see. So he has that mustache right there. Can't stand it. But he's interested in a wife that will accept his partying lifestyle. That's what he says at first. Now, later on in the episode, he'll say that he's kind of open to like trying something different if that's what his wife wants. But he starts off by telling us that he wants a wife who accepts his lifestyle. So when I heard this, I was like, what are you talking about? So, as in, you want a wife who's okay with you going out day and night to still partay as a married man? As a father and as a husband. So I'm just confused because I'm like, if you still want to be outside, why are you trying to get married? I, Anyways, so basically here we're introduced to the other guys, Adam, Nick, and Mecca. So I don't remember who asked in the group, but somebody asked who has ever cheated, and everyone's going around saying no, 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 and then here comes Felipe. Yes, I cheated, but then I forgot about it until like 2 years later. That's what he's saying. So basically, he cheated, but he forgot that he cheated. I'm just like, and then I was cackling because all the other guys were side eyeing him. They were looking at him like, everyone was making a face. And I was like, yeah, because you sound like a clown. And I'm glad that the other guys weren't even trying to co sign it high key. I'm glad no one else was on the same level of BS because Felipe, what are you talking about? And yeah, nah, he said it like a joke, like he was trying to impress them. The people were not impressed. The people were not entertained. Okay. And then Nick, I already knew him, and I think I wanted to watch this show because I recognized him in the trailer. And I was like, Nick, are you serious? Again? Like, Nick, I have seen you too many times. I've seen you too many times. He's been on The Circle, Perfect Match, Battle Camp. I would put money, guys, I would put money down that he has applied to Love Island at some point in his life. I've never seen him on the show, but I wouldn't doubt that he applied. So I'm just like, Nick, are you actually here for love? You know, like, you can only see someone on dating shows and reality TV so many times before you're like, you're not here for love, you're here for clout. Please, please stop trying to play in our faces, okay? So yeah, he's apparently here for a marriage, and he says that he will definitely have the best marriage out of the group. Now, granted, he said this after Felipe was on his BS, so maybe he was comparing it to that, but he said in the group. So he's already, before he even meets the person he's going to marry, is talking about, I'm going to have the best marriage. And that's why I'm like, it's giving game player, because why would you say that? It's giving a little bit of game player, but we'll see about him. But then he also said that Felipe's marriage wouldn't work, and I'm with you on that one thing. I'm with you on that one thing, because I just can't take Felipe serious. But we shall see. Maybe it will work. Maybe. But from his introduction, I really have no faith. But so Nick, I'm with you on that one thing. But the verdict is still out on you. But anyways, so the matches. So Paul, the matchmaker, and Dr. Lisa are coming up with the matches as usual, and they're pairing Adam and Marissa together. One thing they have in common is fitness. That's a big thing. They're both into fitness, and Adam, according to Paul, makes a ton of money, a boatload of money. That's what he said. So he's in good financial standing. According to Paul, he's attractive. According to Paul, he's sweet. So Paul is basically like, why are you here? Why are you single? And then Adam's just like, it's not so much as like struggling to find a person, it's struggling to find the right person to do life with. And I hear that. Okay, we hear it. So Adam starts off making a little bit of sense, and then it goes left. We will see. So Paul insists that Adam breaks it off with his date. So he had a date the week before this meeting with Paul, and Paul's like, I need to know you're serious, so you need to break that thing off, is what's going on. And so Adam is like, okay, I can just text, because it wasn't even serious enough for me to call. Paul is like, stop playing in my face. You are going to call. Because this wasn't the first time he was kicking it with this date. So he calls, and it's probably for the best that he did call, because the date ends up taking the phone call really hard. Like, she's like really hurt by him calling things off. Like, she doesn't really take it well. So I was like, had you texted, she was really not gonna take that well. So that convinces Paul that Adam is serious. So let's talk about Marissa. Marissa is a child of divorce, and she doesn't speak to her dad. And Dr. Lisa basically highlights that it was likely infidelity, because that's the reason she wouldn't be. It's typically the reason why you wouldn't speak to one of the other parents. So yeah, that's and Marissa doesn't deny it. So she's like, that's likely what was involved as well. So it seems like the dad really dogged her mom out, and from then on, it's just not a thing. So Adam says he would be okay with someone who had a rough childhood, because they could make their own family, which is important because we know that Marissa was going through it as a child, okay? Then Paul basically says Adam is like a tin man who has a heart but doesn't know it. So apparently, okay, we will see. I cannot really, at least for this portion of the episode, I couldn't really get a read on Adam. I feel like I got a read on him later on, but for the first part, I don't know about no Tin Man. But anyways, so Adam has no family who's coming to the wedding. Is what's going on. His parents are on vacation, and then his sister was just like, basically, I'm not attending because this is some BS. Is the long and short of it. She was like, this is really some BS. How are you going to marry somebody you just met? I will not be co-signing. Okay, you're not gonna catch me there. It's what's going on. But then I was like, okay, I hear it. Like, at the end of the day, I'm watching this for entertainment and to do these reviews. But like, if that was my brother, I would be like, you are crazy trying to marry somebody you haven't even met in person. That's crazy. That's really, really crazy. And I would not be trying to be seeing that wedding either. So I understand it to some extent. And then the grandmother also said she won't be flying in. She's not trying to be there. His boys will be there though. His whole friend group is gonna be there. So the next thing they're doing is gifts, right? So Adam and Marissa send each other gifts, and before Marissa opens her gift, we see Adam saying that he's gonna have her doing pickleball in a few weeks. And I said, have her doing, but I didn't think too much of it. I was like, okay. But then it shows up later. So in Marissa's package, we see ski goggles, a kill switch, which by the way, I had to look up what a kill switch is because I don't know nothing about boats, high key. So apparently a kill switch is the thing that you use to like stop the engine of a boat in an emergency. Like if you go overboard or something, that's what Google said. I was looking at that thing like kill switch. What? What's going on? I've only heard of kill switches in like spy movies. But anyways, apparently that's a real thing. And then a pickleball is another thing that he sends. And I had to look up pickleball as guys, I don't go out. Like, I really do not go outside. I'm not an outdoorsy person, so I did not know what was going on, and that's on me because I had to look up pickleball as well. Okay, found out what that kind of sport is. So he sends her a whole bunch of outdoorsy, sportsy stuff, because that's what he expects of his wife to like that. And then she sends him a little shot bottle, little alcohol thing, and then a notebook. So the notebook is for them to document their adventures together as a married couple. And then he's like, he opens the present and he's like, alcohol causes cancer and all these diseases. So apparently he doesn't drink, which okay, fine, absolutely, absolutely fine. And then he's like, the notebook, he's like, I hope she'll have more sports related interests, is basically what he's saying. So I'm like, instead of you to be grateful for what she sent you, you're talking about her being into sports. And then one of the friends asks a very real question. This one is a real one here. He says, so what do you do if she's not an athlete? And I'm like, yeah, so what are you going to do? Because it's not sounding like he's very flexible. And we know that Marissa's into fitness. It's just that's not her entire whole thing. Like, damn, girl has other things she wants to do, but he's fitness, fitness, fitness is what's going on, and outdoor stuff. So then, in response to his friend, Adam says, "I've trained multiple athletes in my life." And the way he said that, I don't know, I felt a way. I felt the type of way because why? He just sounds a bit controlling. He just sounds a bit, just a little bit controlling and just a bit unwilling to compromise. And I'm just like, what about what she's interested in? What about what she wants? Because I hope that you're willing to adapt yourself to her interests as well. Or is it just what you want though? Okay. We'll see. The verdict is still out, but I'm really not liking it. Basically, it's an athlete by force. That's what he wants. His wife must be an athlete and it's by force. And I hate that. I don't like, they're already both into fitness, but it's just like the way he said it. Nothing wrong with wanting things in common, but it's like I'm going to train her to be into the stuff I'm into. It's by force. Okay. So the next match is Tori and Felipe. Tori is a 32-year-old senior marketing manager. Period. Okay. Period. She's very athletic. She does hot yoga, Pilates, and running. Okay. So the first thing she would say to her husband, okay, is I'm not crazy. That's the first thing you're gonna say to you. That's the first thing, like not even hi, how are you? What's your name? I'm from such and such. I do such and such. The first thing you're going to say to your husband is I'm not crazy. And by the way, that's not even the first thing she said at the wedding. Spoiler alert. And then Felipe says he wants a feminine woman. So he wants hair, nails, makeup done. Very feminine looking. That's what he wants. Okay. And then Tori wants a man with facial hair, which he definitely has. The choice in facial hair, I'm not all for it, but he has it regardless. And then dark features, whatever that means. Listen, I'm not gonna assume what she means by dark features because one thing I've realized is people have different like people have different understandings of dark features. So whatever, whatever's in her head, I hope she got that. She also wants a provider, because we find out that part of Tori's backstory is that she grew up on food stamps, and she just went through a whole bunch of poverty and struggles growing up. So she wants, I can see that she wants that stability, and that's fair. She like, I was there, and like I wouldn't change anything about my childhood, but I'm really not trying to go back. You understand? I'm not I'm not trying to go back. The food stamps will not be seeing me. You understand? Okay, so um they both want kids. Fantastic, they match on that. And then Felipe says it's very important that his wife gets along with his intense mother. What do you mean by that? Because I know, I hope he doesn't mean that he's a mama's boy. That's what I'm questioning. It's yet to be seen. Like, his mom seems like sweet for now from what we see later in the episode, but what do you mean intense mother? He didn't say parents, because we know his parents are happily married. He didn't say parents, he said intense mother. So I'm just, okay, we shall see. From what we've seen from Felipe in this episode, I wouldn't be surprised if he is a mama's boy, but I am going to avoid drawing that conclusion right now. So then Paul meets with Felipe. This is basically before he tells him he has a match, because he wants to check out one final thing. So Paul tells Felipe, to both our meetings, you know what I didn't like about them? You were late to both of them. And then Felipe's like, yeah, I was out partying the night before. That's his excuse, guys. Well, talking about, yeah, my job allows me flexibility, so I don't have to be in the office until like 4 p.m. at the restaurant. And that's why he's always outside. And I'm just like, I hope that's not how you're going to be in a marriage. But I'm already side-eyeing you heavy, Felipe. So then he says he would overcome for the right woman. That's what he says. He says, I would be willing to overcome for the right woman. Whatever he means by that, I don't know. I'm not convinced, and I'll believe it when I see it. But his parents are very happy that he's found a match, and you can see from the way they relate that he's very close to his family. Then we have Belle Jolie and Mecca. So Belle Jolie is a 28-year-old singer-songwriter, dance teacher, and freelance makeup artist. Okay, she is booked and busy. And then we see her in the studio. She actually sounded good. This is before she meets with Paul. And I was like, okay. Yeah, she can sing a little something. Yeah. So then she tells us that her deal breakers are no ambition, no drive, not romantic, bad hygiene. I say, yeah, all valid. And then Mecca basically tells us, we find out that he cleans porta potties. And as he said, like literally, as he said, someone has to do it. So I hear it. And it's something that he's very, like, he used to be ashamed of telling people because he has a big fear of rejection, not just because of his job, but because of other things that went on in his childhood. But on top of that, being a sanitation worker, he also is a caterer and a model. So he makes a decent living, is what Paul points out, because of all this. And I was like, this is fantastic because they're both hustlers. Yeah. So then we find out that Mecca actually comes from a broken home. So his mom left, and then his dad met his stepmother. And then his stepmom and dad got divorced eventually. And then his siblings went to live with the stepmom. And then he stayed with his dad. So yeah, bruh, it's a mess. He went through a lot, basically, what's going on. And that explains his fear of rejection, because I mean, he's been left, you know what I'm saying? He's used to being left. So another thing they have in common is Belle Jolie's dad actually wasn't around for her as a child, and then when they met when she was older, he now asked for a DNA test, despite the fact that, according to her, it was very obvious that that was his daughter. So I'm guessing they look very much alike. He was like, yeah, not with the DNA test. I said, boy, bye. Anyways, so yeah, she also has felt that, and both of them really want to have good families. and build good families for themselves, have a good marriage to show their kids and that type of thing, because they didn't have that growing up. So I definitely understand that. And then he says in his confessional that he's a lover boy at heart. And then she says the exact same thing. She's like, I'm a lover girl at heart. That's what she tells Dr. Lisa. So yeah, they have so much, so much, so much in common. But then I worry just a little bit because they have the same things that have hurt them. So I don't know. We shall see. Maybe it could be a perfect match or a very much imperfect type of situation. We'll have to wait and see. And then Mecca is stressing about the whole you may now kiss the bride moment, because he's like, should I ask? Is it giving just read the room, see the moment? And it ends up being a fair concern because she actually doesn't want a kiss on the lips immediately. She was like, let's keep it classy. So at the wedding, they end up just doing a kiss on the cheek. So it was fair for him to be getting concerned about this early. And then Felipe and Tori. Felipe and Tori's wedding, Felipe comes out. He's been a bit funny. One thing I'll give him, okay, he's funny because he definitely broke the ice, because this is literally two families sitting down. Nobody knows each other. We're like, what's going on? So while we're waiting for the bride to come out, it's just like a whole lot of awkward tension that needs to be broken. So he did good at that. I still cannot take this man seriously, but he's a good class clown, and I like that. Good for the jokes, not, well, we'll see about marriage, but I'm thinking you just stay with him for the jokes and for nothing else. High key. Like Felipe, I don't know, he gives that he's here for a good time, not a long time, but we'll see. And then Felipe's vows, you can see that he's attracted to her. He says that. So at least they've got the physical attraction down, at least on his part. I haven't heard from her, so we'll see. We'll see how she's feeling, but he definitely has the dark features that she was looking for and the facial hair. So we'll see. She's very beautiful. She looks amazing in the dress. Her sister is there supporting her, and her whole family is there as well. Um, her sister basically like is so grateful to Tori because Tori helped like raise her, helped pay for her way through college once Tori got stable and got a job and everything. So she's big into family, right? Big into family. And that's one thing they both have in common, which is amazing. So like I'm really just trying to have high hopes for a living for all these couples. But I feel like I just can't take it serious. And also this is a reality TV show. Like high key, a lot of these couples is not gonna last. But anyways, I'm trying to have high hopes, but they keep bringing me unserious people like Felipe. Anyways, so Mecca and Belle Jolie's wedding day. Okay, why does Mecca's dad come in front of the boys and is like, can you tell my boy to rub alcohol on his legs? His legs are ashy. I'm cackling. The dad is tearing into him, and it's like they have this very much jokey type of relationship, and I'm like, that's fantastic. But he was clowning him, and he stayed clowning him. His dad was also giving side comments during the ceremony as well. And then his grandmother is also there just before the wedding, just when it's just him and his family. And his grandmother gives him a piece of advice to always have open communication. And he says he is bad at that. And that's something you're going to have to work on, babes. Like Grammy said, that's literally such good advice from the grandmother. Because if the communication is bad, it's a dub. It's really a dub. So then the wedding ceremony was pretty good. It was pretty okay. Everyone was keeping it light. We were keeping it light, keeping it jovial. So it was a good time. And then Mecca kissed Belle Jolie on the cheek like she wanted. She was like, yeah, and right here, yeah, and he respected that boundary. And then with Adam and Marissa, so Adam is just doing a lot. Like Adam, he I don't know. I don't see this marriage working because Adam just seems like it's my way or the highway type of thing is what's going on. But we'll see. So get this right, okay? Adam walks down the aisle, he walks to his spot, and then he turns his back to the audience. Okay, so he's gonna do a turnaround thing and see his wife, right? Marissa walks down the aisle. She gets to closer to the end of the aisle. Adam turns around. The second they both look at each other, they recognize each other. Marissa's like, I know him. He's like, I know her. I said, what? I said, what? So apparently they know each other. That's crazy. That's crazy. And that's where the episode ends. So we're gonna see. I want to know how they know each other. I'm very curious. But yeah, that was episode 1. The verdict is still out on most of these people, so we are going to have to see. I definitely want to follow this season along, so I'll be doing reviews every time the episodes drop. But yeah, if you like this review, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, and share. Okay, so that's pretty much all from me. If you have any different thoughts, put them down in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next video.